Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Kirkwood Sports Talk Show. My name is Devin Ball, and I'm here with Michael Chapman and Cole Crutchfield. We're going to talk about college sports, college football, actually. It is the season after all. Guys, we have top four teams: Alabama, Clemson, Notre Dame, and LSU. You guys think that they should belong up there? LSU, we'll start with them. Cole?
Yeah, I think LSU belongs up there. I mean, they've had a pretty good season so far. They've played well against teams like Georgia, so I think they deserve to be up there.
Michael?
They've played some. I mean, they've had a tough schedule. I mean, they played some. They did lose to Florida, but they did beat. They came back that last time and beat Georgia. So I feel like they've belong in the top four for sure.
Sure. Notre Dame, first independent team to get into the top four of the season.
I don't think they should be number 3 just because they really haven't had that tough of a schedule, and the teams that they have played, like Vanderbilt, Ball State, and even Navy, like last week, they really haven't played all that well against. So I don't think they should deserve to be that high.
Do you think they're going to be like a UCF team, go undefeated the rest of the season?
Unless they get upset by Northwestern this week. That's the only game I see them losing for the regular season.
Sure.
I
Michael?
have to agree with them. They really haven't played a tough team yet. Northwestern's probably going to be their toughest this week and see how they do.
Sure. Clemson, number 2. After all, of course.
Yeah. I think they deserved that well. I mean, they absolutely blew out North Carolina State at home, and I thought that game was going to be a lot closer than it actually was, but it just shows how good Clemson is.
Yep, they're very impressive. They've always been impressive all year. They're always good. They're always a good football team, and they've proved themselves once again.
And who else? Alabama, number 1.
Yeah.
I can already guess what you guys' response is.
Yeah, they deserve to be number 1. They're just by far the best football team in the country. And I mean, they've blown out every team they've played against, even like their other SEC teams.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yep, they're dominating the SEC right now.
If anything, I would put a gap between 2 and number 1. Just have it Clemson maybe at number 1 and just put Alabama on their own level.
Yeah.
That's what I would want to do.
Yeah.
All right. And there's some new teams in the top 25. Some interesting teams, actually. We got Virginia, not Virginia Tech, Virginia,
Yeah.
the Cavaliers. What do you guys think?
I was kind of surprised by that. I mean, they really haven't been making any waves this year. Haven't really had any big games this year so far. Played any big teams.
I'm surprised they're even in the top 25. They really they haven't played a big team yet.
Everybody feels like that. And we got Utah State.
Yeah, the Aggies coming out of nowhere. I was definitely surprised by that, to see them coming close to Iowa for in the top 25.
For sure.
I have to agree with them. I really haven't seen much of them play, but they must be doing well enough to be in the top 25.
And the Bulldogs, not Georgia, Fresno State.
Yeah.
Where did they come from?
I don't know. They're coming out of that toughest conference, the Mountain West. They just come out of nowhere. We'll see if they deserve to be there.
And what about Kentucky? They're kind of an interesting SEC football team right now.
Yeah.
They're number 11 in the AP poll. What do you guys think?
I don't think they deserve to be number 11, just because they struggled with some of their games, like last week when they played Missouri and it came down to a last-second play. So I don't think they deserve to be that high up.
Yeah, I don't think so. Missouri could have won that game, but Missouri made mistakes on their side, and that gave Kentucky that win.
Oh, for sure. All right. So we got this week's games, actually. The big ones. Alabama, LSU.
It's a big one. Everyone will be talking about that.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's going to be close, but I think Alabama's just the superior football team.
All right. So you guys got any Heisman favorites as of right now? I mean, you got Dwayne Haskins, you got Will Grier. I mean, those are my top 2 personally.
I think Will Grier is definitely making a case over at West Virginia. I mean, they haven't had the most stellar year like against Iowa State, but I still think he's a really good quarterback.
For sure.
He's putting up impressive numbers. I mean, they haven't played big teams. I mean, they did, but he's doing well against those teams, putting up high numbers.
Mm-hmm. I have a dark horse. Mackenzie Milton out of UCF, the 5'11" quarterback. Used to play for Scott Frost. He had an undefeated season. They're still undefeated. I mean, I don't know what more you want out of that kid, but he's for sure a dark horse and will play on Sundays in his future.
Yep.
For sure.
Sure. Yep. All right. So now the conference championships. Who do you guys see in the SEC conference champions?
In the SEC, I think it's going to be either the winner of LSU, Alabama, and Georgia is the conference championship.
Those are the most talked about
I have to
SEC
see it.
teams.
I agree with them. It's probably most likely going to be the winner of that LSU-Alabama game.
And do you guys see a Pac-12 team making the playoffs this year?
I tell you what, though, if a few upsets happen, I definitely see Washington State a real underdog. Nobody saw them coming, but right now I think they're 10th in the AP poll, and I think if a few teams can get really upset, they could make a case that of just based on ranking, they could be in the college football playoff.
I have to agree. If a lot of teams get upset this week, I feel like will move up the poll.
Just have to play the cards right, honestly.
Yeah.
What about the Big Ten conference championships?
I think the Big Ten Conference Championship, it's going to come down to probably the winner between Ohio State and Michigan, like it usually does. And I think, as much as it pains me to say, I think Northwestern, they're going to upset Iowa, and they're going to control their own destiny in the West, and they're going to go to the Big Ten Championship in Indianapolis. I don't think they're going to win, but I think they're going to go to it. And
they are in a good stride right now.
Yeah.
I feel like it'll probably be like an Ohio State, be up to that Ohio State-Michigan game. And I feel like Iowa will probably pave their way to the Big Ten champion.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like they're a good team. I feel like they can beat Northwestern and control their way.
Kirk Ferentz making that line
Mm-hmm.
They just defensive and offensive. He just makes.
Practice makes perfect, man. You don't get to be a coach at the same school for 20 years without being really good.
You're not wrong. All right, Big 12, kind of interesting conference this year.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I think Conference Championship is going to be a rematch of the Red River rivalry between Oklahoma and Texas. And in that game, I think that Texas, they just had that loss to Oklahoma State. I think Oklahoma is going to want revenge after their loss to Texas. I think they're going to win it.
Michael?
I'd probably say Texas, Oklahoma. I feel like Texas is talented, but they did have a tough loss to Oklahoma State. But I feel like Oakland's ready for them to they want their revenge. So I feel like probably Oakland will win.
Okay. And our last topic for today, Final Four. Who do you guys have as of right now? Who do you want to be in the Final Four?
My Final Four will be right now I think it's the same as the actual top four, but I think at the end of this week, it's going to change to Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, and maybe Notre Dame, depending on how they do on that Northwestern game.
Okay, Michael.
I have to say probably I feel like LSU is going to win against Alabama. I feel like LSU will move into that top spot. Alabama will probably drop to the fourth spot. I still feel like they'll still be in the playoffs.
It's Alabama. I mean,
I don't feel like the voters are going to drop them too much if they
yeah.
beat LSU.
Oh, no.
If LSU beats them, and then probably a Michigan and then a Notre Dame will be in there.
I'm hoping. I have a buddy back home who loves LSU, and I usually don't root for him, but I want LSU to beat Alabama. I want Alabama's dynasty to be done and over with. I want Nick Saban go back to the NFL, just be out of college football. I just appreciate it so much. I want to thank you guys for coming and watching our Kirkwood Sports Talk Show, and we will see you next time. Thank you.